Welcome to the Hunt Fish Travel Podcast. She thinks at the end of the day your feet should be dirty, that your hair should be messy, and your eyes should be sparkling from the joy of camping. But first, she's ready to help you navigate your trip of a lifetime. And now, here's your hostess, Carrie Zilka.
Welcome to the Hunt Fish Travel Podcast. I am your hostess, Carrie Z. This week, we are talking to Jonny Baumann from Drop 'em Outdoors. He's here in Wisconsin, and we're going to be talking about some fishing. But before we get into that, as you know, Spy Point is our title sponsor. And they've just come out with 2 brand new models, which I'm super excited about. Just got them in the mail. I cannot wait to put them out because they look amazing. The Flex G36 and the LM2 from Spy Point. They're just performance. They're valuable. They really offer a lot of performance for a budget. The Flex G36, they really are building on the success of the Spy Point Flex camera that was introduced last year. This camera takes 36 megapixel photos and 1080p video with sound, which will be, of course, transmitted right to the Spy Point app. The LM2 is built on a hugely popular Link Micro platform, which I personally is probably my favorite. It delivers 20 megapixel photos, and it's basically the Link Micro design, but which is, I don't know, the most popular cellular trail camera of all time, but in addition to the 20 megapixel photos, it's adding optimized connectivity thanks to a new antenna design, which is amazing, and a larger 90-foot flash and detector range. So really excited to play with these 2 new cameras, and I'll let you know. Be sure to check out the Instagram, of course, Hunt Fish Travel Show, and of course the Facebook page, where I will be posting some videos and some photos soon. But now, on to the show. Welcome back this week. We are in fishing mode. We are all in, get the boat out. And as many of you know, I love walleyes. I love muskies. I do love bass fishing. So we have with us on the line Jonny Baumann from Drop 'em Outdoors, which is a very interesting company, and we'll get into that. But we are going to talk about bass fishing. Jonny, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk to a fellow Wisconsinite. I feel like I talk to a lot of people all over the country and stuff, but when I talk about my lakes or, Door County, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, they're missing out.
I know. I feel like we are very rich in natural resources here in this state and abundant in the bass area.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
So why don't you tell the listeners a bit about you and your company, Drop 'em Outdoors?
So Drop 'em Outdoors started in 2000. Me and my buddy were sitting in the truck talking about starting a channel, and all of a sudden the Wheeler Walker song came on, Drop 'em Out. And, it's just kind of a funny story. I don't know if you guys know the song, but so it just started. We're like, Drop 'em Outdoors, dude. So we ran with it, and we basically just started filming, and, we just thought it'd be cool to look back at our different hunts, and then, it caught a little attention, so we just kept running with it. And now we've grown it to a decent size, got it just about 5,000 followers on Instagram, and reached over, I want to say over 10 million views on TikTok in the past 6 months. So it's been really cool meeting just phenomenal people. Just hearing different people's stories, getting to know people from all over the state, all over the country. And it's just been super, super cool to get all the opportunities too, just meeting people, getting opportunities to hunt different areas of Wisconsin and even out of state, out in North Dakota, duck hunting and whatnot. So it's been really cool. And that's pretty much the rundown on how we started and how we're starting to grow even more.
Nice. So when we were prepping for the interview a little bit, we were talking about the different species. And if you look back at the Hunt Fish Travel podcast, you'll see I've only done a couple of episodes on bass fishing. So last year I actually kind of remembered how much I love bass fishing because all I do is walleye fish and muskie fish. That's the truth. But last year during the Take a Vet fishing event on Wabisa, we found this nook and we just like were catching bass left and right. And I was like, God, why don't I do this more often? They're so fun to catch. So,
Oh, absolutely.
They put up such a good fight.
Nothing better than, like, top water bass fishing.
Yes.
That is my all-time. Watching them blow up out of the water, it's so cool.
I know. Oh, and I remember a couple of years ago, somebody took me, this was before I had a boat, somebody took me, like, sight fishing in the spring, where you just, I mean, I kind of felt bad for being a jerk to the mama bass, like, you know, you, like, just pester them, and then they get mad, and they pick up the bait, and they are like, screw you, and throw it out of their nest or whatever, and I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was so fun.
Yeah, it is amazing. If you catch them on the beds, like even right now, they're starting up, and it is just wild. Like, you get into the river systems and whatnot around here, like Milwaukee River, we usually hit, and you can just kayak down the river. You find them on their beds, wiggle it in front of them, and you just start hammering them.
Right, they get so mad. Like,
oh, they're like feisty as all get out. You know, it's great. So it's a lot of fun.
I know. So where in Wisconsin? So I'm in the southeastern Wisconsin, like Milwaukee area, over here in Waukesha. What part of the state do you live in, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in West Bend, just north of Milwaukee there.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that you were that close.
Yep, so right down the road, about a 45-minute hour.
Hilarious. Well, tell the listeners where your kind of favorite area to go bass fishing is.
I definitely love Little Cedar and Big Cedar Lake.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of population of bass. Size-wise, you know, you get your average 15, 16, 17 inches. Around here, you know, every once in a while you catch one that's plus 20. But I really, really, really love going up to Door County and just catching smallmouths. There are some insanely large smallmouths up there, as you guys know.
Yeah. We ride up to Door County a lot, and I never think to go up there. I know people who fish and hunt up there all the time, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm stupid. I go the other way, you know, because you don't think about it. You think of it as such a touristy area and everything. And
yeah, my buddy was just up there, and he caught a monster. I mean, it had to have been an 7-8 pounder. Like, I've never seen a smallmouth that big in my life. It was crazy.
Really? Are you guys fishing like in Sturgeon Bay or?
Yeah, Sturgeon Bay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, that gets hit a lot. I mean, I only get up there probably once or twice a year just because it's a little bit of a hike.
Mm-hmm.
But I fish my local lakes, just finding different weed edges to fish. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of bass around, so
yeah,
you can go with a ton of bass in the day. So
that's awesome. Like I said, that we were out on Wabisa, and boy, God, we were just fatties, too. And they were so fun. And you mentioned you like the Minocqua area, right?
Oh, I love it up there.
Me too.
It's just absolutely stunning up there. And, like, I go back into the way back sloughs, like, where nobody else goes. I just have a 14-foot boat with a 25 on the back. Mm-hmm. So I like to sneak way back into these sloughs and just throwing topwater baits. And, man, just watching them blow up. I mean, I caught one last year that was 23 inches. I didn't have a scale on me, but it had to have been right around 5-6 pounds. It was a big one.
Wow. That's so cool.
And then, I mean, everything up there is just so big, I feel like. Like, some of them bass are just monstrous.
Yeah. Where do you generally stay when you go up there? Do you guys have a favorite resort or campground?
So my grandpa actually built a place up there, I want to say probably 30 years ago. So we stay there, and it's right near the Willow Flowage area.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice cabin. It's perfect for all of us to stay at. We have a pretty big family, so every once in a while there'd be like 12, 13 of us up there. So, you know, all of us going out in the fishing boats and just catching some nice fish.
That's cool. My grandpa used to always, he loved bass fishing. He would catch bullheads and bass, and those were his favorite things to catch. Because he'd throw out, like, awesome. he would throw out just like a mess of night crawlers, and then he would always take the most beat up, just tore up plastic worms. They were just always like, and you'd be like, oh, don't you want to use these new ones? And he's like, nope. these are the ones that catch them, and they were just shredded. And he would throw them out, and he would just catch bass left and right. It was crazy. So
That's awesome.
I know.
They don't know, you know, just like my grandpa. He goes out there and he does his thing. I'm like, I don't think that's going to work.
And then they kill him.
You know,
I know. They're like, I caught 45. And then you're like, oh, well. I'll put away my fancy $12 lure then.
That's it, the one you cast into the tree.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
Totally. Do you have any tips for, say somebody wants to get into bass fishing and they're just kind of interested, they're kind of new, maybe they've gone pan fishing or something. Do you have any tips of what they should maybe try?
Yeah, I guess if you were a first-time bass fisherman, I would say, like, don't worry about getting yourself into, like, a $200 rod setup or anything. Like, just a regular spinning rod, $50 combo will get you through. And just, you know, pick up some plastics, watch some YouTube videos. There's, like, so many YouTube videos out there, just information that you can look up and just learn from these guys that do it day after day. I would just go to your local lake and just kind of find some weed edges, find out where the bait fish are, find out where the bluegills are, and cast around the weed edges. And I'd say that's pretty much it. I mean, bass love to hide in the lily pads, hide in the weeds, and then they come out to feed right off the edges. So I would definitely say stick to the weed edges and stay around the shorelines during the middle of summer.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely in the weedy, the lily pads. It's always like where you're like, oh, there ain't no fish in there. It's too shallow. And then you cast in there and you're like, look at this big monster I got.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy how, like, shallow they sit.
For real.
Like, you can see them. Like, you can see, like, the ripples where they're swimming. I mean, I've caught them in literally, like pure weeds up to, like, a half inch of water. Or, like, not a half inch, but, like, a half a foot of water. You know, they just sit tight, and, yeah, it's crazy.
I know. And it's just, and then you get that shot of adrenaline when the water just explodes.
Yeah, there's nothing cool. That is probably, like, one of the coolest things. And that's, like, one of the reasons why I love catching bass so much, for sure.
I know. There's so much more fun to catch. Like, yeah. Like I said last year, I was like, why don't I do this more often? But.
Don't get me wrong. Walleye fishing, muskie fishing, northern fishing, it's all a blast. But, man, it is fun when you're catching, like, plentiful of bass, you know, left and right, big ones. So.
Yeah, totally. There's Pewaukee Lake has this, well, Smokies is over there, and they do this musky, I forget what he calls it, because you're not allowed to call, I think you're not allowed to call it a tournament, because then you have to pay a fee. If you have over 20 boats, like, then it's a tournament, but anything under that, so I think he only limits it to 19, and they do their musky club or whatever it is. I think I might do that. Now, I'm so fired up to go fishing, I can't even tell you. I totally screwed the pooch with turkey hunting this year, and I'm just so mad. I'm like, okay, fuck it. Now it's time to just go fishing. This is dumb. I'm done. You guys win. Turkeys won. Carry 0. I'll just go fishing instead. You know?
Heck yeah. That's how it was for me. I hunted for 2 weeks, and man, I just had the worst of luck. I think the turkeys got it out for me.
Aww. Do you hunt public or private?
All public.
Yeah. I like public. I got this lease in Hartford, and it's not a very good lease. But there were turkeys on there, but my dumbass wasn't paying attention, and, like, these 2 mature gobblers come walking over, and they're a little leery, but, like, they're walking real slow, and I was just totally turned the wrong way. So I'm trying to, like, twist around to the right and lean back and get my gun up and shot, and he laughed at me and ran away. So that was like, and I got it all on video too. I had my GoPro, like, I don't know, 30, 40 yards away or whatever. So it's facing the blind, and all you see is like a couple of feathers. He jumps up and he's like, screw you, lady, and runs off. And I'm like, this is like the epitome of my turkey season.
Oh man,
it's so,
that's the worst.
I know, it's so stupid. I captured all the audio of me in the, I think I'm going to line it up with the GoPro video, because, like, listening to it, I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. This is hilarious, but I'm so dumb. Like, but
That's awesome.
Whatever. Like, at least we can poke fun at ourselves. At least I saw something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like every hen in the county would come to me, like within, like, where's your boy at? Like,
right?
where's the little Tom?
I know.
But,
and then as you're driving home, you're like, wow, look at all the strutters in these fields that I can't hunt. There's like 7 in this one field. I'm like, is this really my life? Like, this sucks so much. I'm gonna go fishing instead.
Yeah, heck yeah. Load up the boat. Let's go.
Right. Oh, too funny. So tell me, so Drop 'em Outdoors, it's a team of you and who else?
Cole, my other buddy.
It's just the two
Cole
of you.
Diesel. Yeah, it's the 2 of us, and then we have ambassadors that work with us too.
Okay.
So they're pretty much like team members that they're like a huge part of it. Like we all have a group chat, so we're always helping each other out. Like, come on over. Like they're from all over the country. So we got 2 in Texas, 1 in Tennessee, 1 in Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, so South Carolina. So like all over the country. So it's really neat. We all work together. We all are starting to plan out hunts together where, you know, you come to my state, I'll come to your state. Last year we just had Colton, one of the ambassadors, come up for a duck hunt up here in Wisconsin.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was a blast. It was really cool.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Because it is hard. I don't know. I mean, I understand why outfitters charge so much because the amount of work and time and effort that goes into a hunt is crazy. And then to do it from out of state is always tough. So, and then just being able to share that with somebody is pretty cool.
And I feel like that's what it's kind of all about, is just making those lifelong memories, you know, and like, you know, you get to meet so many cool people doing this stuff. So like, like some people might take it for granted, but I feel like we definitely don't, you know, like we appreciate every single person that's a part of it. So
that's cool. Very, very cool. So where do you see Drop 'em Outdoors in 5 years? Like, do you have aspirations for a TV show or podcast? I mean, I might know somebody who could steer you in the right direction.
Heck yeah. So my goal is in 10 years, so my 10-year goal, I guess, would be I want to be out in North Dakota and have my own guide service out there for waterfowl hunting.
Really?
Cole has different aspirations than I do. He's huge into whitetail. They hunt Buffalo County, and he shoots some monster deer. So, I mean, I would really, really love to grow this and keep growing it into like some more merchandise and making our own clothing lines and whatnot. And my dream really would be to be an outfitter at some point with Drop 'em Outdoors and be able to give people the opportunity to, you know, have a hunt of their lifetime.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, cool. Well, I know you guys do a lot of waterfowl hunting and stuff, and I'd love to get you back on the show. Right about then, I went on my first duck hunt, not last season, but the season before in Wisconsin, up on the Mississippi River, and that was super cool. And
it's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. I shot nothing, but I tried, but it was okay.
Heck yeah, that's all.
Yeah, it was still super fun to get out there, and it was nice. It was with a veterans group, and it was just kind of nice because they knew what they were doing and I didn't. So like,
I mean, it's out there too, you know, the Mississippi River is pretty treacherous and stuff.
Yes, it was, yes, indeed. And last year I got to go to Michigan, and that was really interesting. It was like their coldest weekend of the year, of course. And it was opening weekend of gun season here, so I missed that, which was kind of a bummer. But I got my first duck, so that's fine. Whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. That's like one of my favorite things. I love bringing new people out, you know, that never have duck hunted.
Mm-hmm.
My one buddy never did, and he went out and he shot his first mallard. It was a beautiful drake,
Nice.
and I was just like, you know, that like made the whole day.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even have to shoot another duck to have a great day, and we ended up. It was such a cool hunt. It was one of the coolest hunts of my life. So everything froze over the night before the slough we were supposed to go in. So figured it was going to, and I ended up taking an axe out there and chopping a hole, and we ended up just hammering ducks. So
Really?
It was a lot of fun.
You were out there just
Yeah.
like out in waders, or were you out there like in a blind?
So we brought the boat out and then kind of broke through the ice that way, got to the backside of the slough, and then we walked with waders and we just stood in the cattails.
Interesting. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's creepy standing in like, mid-thigh or almost waist deep water and just waders. It is.
Hey, we got to take it for granted though. We're not down in Louisiana.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
I always think about that. I'm like, man, that's got to be scary.
Yeah.
And those guys down there don't care at all.
I know. That's funny. Well, cool. Let me pull up your YouTube channel if you don't mind. Give me 1 second. Oh my gosh, the first video, best public land duck hunting spot. Why don't you tell me about that video? I know we're going to talk about duck hunting later in the summer, but
let me pull that one up.
It was the first one that came up. I was like, oh, hi.
Oh yeah. That was a really cool day. Oh my gosh. So that was me, my buddy Zach, and my other buddy, and it was on the Mississippi actually. So it was, but I mean it was just crazy. We absolutely just laid into them that day. I mean, I feel like anything we could have done, we were doing it right, even though we were probably doing it wrong.
That's fun.
But yeah, it was a phenomenal day out there.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, and that's like one of the holes like where we were hunting there. We might have even switched to different spots, but the first hole we got into, like everybody in that section tries fighting for that spot. So we got out there at like 2 a.m. and we made sure to hold down the fort.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's cool. You guys trap beavers and otters? That's interesting.
Yeah, we do some trapping in spring and whatnot. I actually really started getting into it with my one buddy Brandon Susan. He's a really, really good trapper. I started trapping with him a little bit. He just kind of showed me the ropes, and then I did a ton of coon trapping this year to try and help out the turkeys. I was trying to help turkeys, and they wouldn't help me out, but I ended up trapping 76 coons this year off of one property.
Holy cow.
Yeah, you wouldn't even think there's that many, but there was a lot.
I went and pulled the trail camera. So I got rid of my lease this month. So I went out there and pulled out all my cameras, and I was just kind of going through the old SD cards with some of the stuff that just didn't transmit to the app. The amount of freaking raccoons, possums, skunks, and cats that are on that lease, I was like, it's a deer and turkey lease only. And I asked him if we could do some coyote hunting or some trapping. He was like, no. And I was like, that's dumb. I should send you the 4,500 photos I have of like 8 coons at a time all over this lease. I couldn't believe how many were out there.
Yeah, and they're bad on every channel.
I was like, man, what a missed opportunity, buddy.
Yep. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Teach their own.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, I'll definitely link to your YouTube channel, of course, and your social media channels in the show notes of this episode when it goes live, of course, so that the listeners can check you out and go and subscribe. I'll definitely be subscribed. I think I already clicked the subscribe button. You guys look like you have a lot of really great videos and like a ton of really great videos, it looks like. So that's really cool.
I appreciate it. We tried posting a lot on YouTube, but like with the whole demonetization and not liking blood and all that stuff. So we've been trying to hit TikTok and keeping that stuff clean. We've already been banned twice.
Oh my gosh.
So we had to make, this is our last account. Hopefully everything, we've gotten warnings. We've been held off. I had a bear video of a bear that ran right out at me, and I got it up. It was within 3 feet of me, and that one got want to say close to 3 million views.
Holy cow.
And after that, they wouldn't let me post for like 2 weeks. It's been a war. But we post a lot on Instagram. That's mostly our main page.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks because you spend so much time like editing video and to just have to fight against some stupid corporate rule or whatever.
Yep. You get it. So
yeah.
It takes a lot of time to do the stuff we do.
Yeah.
But
yes, it does. And that's why every time I go to like a YouTube channel and I'm like, wow, you have a lot of videos. Kudos to you, because I probably have hundreds of hours of video that'll never see the editing board because I don't want to do it because it sucks. It's so much time.
Yeah, it is tough. But
it's right though. Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Well, excuse me. Gosh, I haven't talked to anybody all day. I work from home in IT, and like I've spoken to no one until this interview. I probably should have done like some vocal warm-ups, but well, cool. Well, so you mentioned Instagram. We've got Instagram.com/drop_em_outdoors, and it looks like the YouTube is at Drop 'em Outdoors as well. Tell them where they can find you on Facebook and TikTok as well.
Facebook, it's just, if you search up Drop 'em Outdoors, you're going to find us on there. And then same thing along with TikTok. We should be the top Drop 'em Outdoors on there.
Cool.
Yeah, you can find us there. And then also our website is dropemoutdoors.com. You'll find some of our merchandise there and other little updates and whatnot, and you can also apply to our ambassador program if you guys are interested in that.
Great. Wonderful. Like I said, I will link to all this stuff in the show notes when I air this episode, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.
And that'll do it. All right, people, if you liked this episode and you want to hear more, oh my God, go to huntfishtravel.com/Apple or huntfishtravel.com/Spotify to subscribe, whether you listen to shows on, an iPhone or an Android device. You can literally find me anywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Podkicker, Amazon Music, Google Music. Literally anywhere. You can find the Hunt Fish Travel Show. Even if you just search Carrie Zylka, CarrieZylka, it'll come up. That sometimes is a little easier. But anywho, thanks for listening. I do appreciate it. If you have a chance to subscribe and you do like these episodes, please give me a review. 5-star reviews help me show up in the search results a little better when people are searching for hunting podcasts or fishing podcasts. Okay, and we will talk to you next week.